Skip Bayless. The supposed godfather of sport debate shows. This is Sports Guy Talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Skip Bayless as he is in need of a new co-host. With Shannon Sharpe departing from Fox Sports, there have been candidates listed as potential replacements for Shannon Sharpe, as that candidate will end up being a future debate partner with Skip Bayless. There is certainly a plethora of options that could end up playing out both for and against Skip Bayless. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So here it is. Who will end up replacing Shannon Sharpe on Undisputed? And honestly, there's a lot of candidates that could be filled in to replace Shannon Sharpe. The question, however, is though, do those candidates actually make sense to replace Shannon Sharpe on Undisputed? Because you can come up with a list of candidates, but not everyone is for Skip Bayless, and Skip Bayless is not for everyone. Skip Bayless needs a nemesis on his side, and he needs a guy that is willing to get up very early in the morning. He needs a guy that is willing to do a 6:30 a.m. show with him, because you got to remember, Skip Bayless does a show from 9:30 till noon Eastern Standard Time, but the thing is, they do their show in LA, which means that their show actually starts at 6:30 in the morning on the West Coast, which means that there needs to be a lot of commitment and there needs to be a lot of dedication involved for that partner next to Skip Bayless. Now, they've already got the moderator taken care of. The moderator has never really been that big of a deal to him. He doesn't want the moderator doing too much. You look at Joy Taylor, you look at Jenny Taft, you look at Jen Hale. Look, all Skip Bayless wants is a moderator to tell him when to stop talking about those topics so he can go ahead and move on to the new topics. And here's the thing with Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless is one of those people that believes that he needs to yell out his hot takes and he needs to do the same topics over and over again. He believes that he is bigger than the actual sports world himself. That's how big his ego is. The thing is though, are those candidates willing to put up with the ego of Skip Bayless? Now, Shannon Sharpe, he's got a pretty big ego himself and he's a special character himself, but are those people willing to go to the levels that Shannon Sharpe did in order to make his partner look good and look comfortable around him? I mean, look, there's a lot of in-house candidates that are being listed right now. There's 4 of them. I find it ironic that 3 of those 4 candidates are from Speak. That's a show on FS1. You guys probably didn't know about it because it's a woke show that nobody watches, but you want to talk about some in-house candidates, they include LeSean McCoy, Emmanuel Acho, Joy Taylor, and Nick Wright. And honestly, outside of LeSean McCoy, I'm not loving any of these options in terms of in-house candidates. I'm not loving the option of Emmanuel Acho because Emmanuel Acho has a different type of personality. He's not necessarily a bad boy kind of debater. He's not going to be the kind of guy that's going to scream his head off and get angry and be a loudmouth. Now, Emmanuel Acho, is he obnoxious? Yeah, he's obnoxious, but he's obnoxious in a different way. He's more of a new school kind of audience. The thing with Skip Bayless is he's a very old man and he needs to be debating with people that are around his age group. And the thing is, there's nobody around his age group that can go ahead and debate with him. And so when you look at the next generation that could possibly debate with Skip Bayless, you're talking about people in their 50s or their 40s even. And Emmanuel Acho is not in his 40s and 50s. Emmanuel Acho is more for the younger audience. He would be a better fit next to someone like a Nick Wright. But Emmanuel Acho, he doesn't necessarily fit in to that audience. Now, as for Joy Taylor, she used to be a moderator for Undisputed, and she actually gets along with Skip Bayless pretty well. Not too many people can go ahead and say that. But I would not like to see Joy Taylor on my screen on Undisputed because Joy Taylor is woke and she's not very entertaining to listen to. Joy Taylor is nothing more than a loudmouth for the woke community. The only thing that she really checks off is that she's biracial and she's a woman. That's all she checks her boxes for. In terms of actually being able to debate with Skip Bayless, please, she cannot hold a candle next to Skip Bayless. And if she joins Skip Bayless on Undisputed, I'm going to be turning off my TV. I'm not going to be watching Undisputed anymore. If you thought Shannon Sharpe was too woke for you, watch out for Joy Taylor, because Joy Taylor is 1,000 times worse than Shannon Sharpe when it comes to level of wokeness. So I don't think Joy Taylor would be a draw to the market in terms of getting a replacement for Shannon Sharpe and being able to run Undisputed successfully. That would be an embarrassing failure to watch. But the ultimate embarrassing failure to watch would be putting Nick Wright next to Skip Bayless. Oh my God. If they put Nick Wright next to Skip Bayless, that show is going to become unwatchable. Here's the thing with Skip Bayless. You've already got an obnoxious guy talking. He can't have 2 guys that are the same personality, that are of the same type, debating with each other. That would not work. Putting 2 Skip Baylesses in the same room would be stupid. It would not be funny. You cannot have Nick Wright sitting across from Skip Bayless. If that happened, that show would consist of 2 embarrassing failures in the sports media. Okay, maybe not so much of Skip Bayless, because Skip Bayless does draw ratings, but the point is, if you put Skip Bayless with Nick Wright, that is going to be an unwatchable show, and no one is going to want to watch that to tune that in. I know I won't be watching if Nick Wright is going to go across from Skip Bayless, outside of maybe when they could talk about Tom Brady's past. That would be about the only thing good worth watching if they put Nick Wright next to Skip Bayless, because Nick Wright is the ultimate Tom Brady hater, while Skip Bayless is the ultimate Tom Brady lover. But that would have made a lot more sense if Tom Brady was still playing in the league. Tom Brady is retired now, which means that the usefulness for Nick Wright across from Skip Bayless, it's not going to be very useful. And somebody could say, oh, what about when they debate about LeBron James? Well, guys, LeBron James only got 2 to 3 more years left at most in the NBA. It might work for 2 to 3 years, then what? What's going to be the purpose? And that's just one topic. Outside of LeBron James, what other good topic would there be worth watching when you see Nick Wright debating with Skip Bayless? It's none, man. Nick Wright and Skip Bayless would be 2 white privileged men going up against each other, which is something that no one wants to watch. So in terms of in-house candidates, LeSean McCoy is the only option that makes sense. And then I want to talk about some external options that could end up replacing Shannon Sharpe on Undisputed. There are 3 of them. I personally think only one of them makes sense. Now look, Max Kellerman, I'm hearing that he could be a candidate to replace Shannon Sharpe on Undisputed. I am not a fan of that idea. We kind of already saw that being played out with Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith. It didn't really end too well. And Skip and Stephen A. are very similar in terms of their personalities, in terms of the way that they think. And if they ended in disaster, I don't think that's going to make a lot of sense in terms of putting Max Kellerman across from Skip Bayless. The only interesting thing that would come out of it is how will Max Kellerman get along with 2 guys that are very similar with each other but are on totally different networks. Other than that, it's not going to make a lot of sense. I'm going to rule out Max Kellerman in that regard. And then there's Keyshawn Johnson. He could be a candidate to replace Shannon Sharpe on Undisputed. I've definitely thought about it. I thought it was an intriguing option, and I think that could definitely happen. It's definitely better than the options of Emmanuel Acho, Joey Taylor, Nick Wright, and Max Kellerman. But I'm not really a fan of that pairing, because if they put Keyshawn Johnson on, because here's the thing with Keyshawn Johnson. Keyshawn Johnson can be funny, and he's definitely worth a listen to, but does he really fit next to Skip Bayless? And the thing with Skip Bayless is, does he really fit next to Keyshawn Johnson? Because Skip Bayless and Keyshawn Johnson are very different in terms of the way how they think about the game and how they do their styles in the media. Keyshawn Johnson is more of a thoughtful kind of person. Yeah, can he be an emotional beta male? Sure, so he can fill in some of that void for Shannon Sharpe. But he's also very different from Shannon Sharpe as well. And the thing with Keyshawn Johnson is, he's already established. He's already got his own show. Would he be willing to leave his own show, where he's the star of the show, just so he can be a co-host to Skip Bayless? Well, Skip Bayless would be the #1 option on Undisputed. I don't think he's willing to do that. Not unless if FS1 is willing to pay him a ton of money to come over to their channel. And then finally, the final option is Michael Irvin. I know you guys probably think Michael Irvin is taboo right now. I know you guys probably think that Michael Irvin is not a good option to pick right now because of all the allegations that are going on against Michael Irvin. Speaking of those allegations, those are some bogus allegations going on against Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin needs to be cleared of all charges. We've already seen the footage come out. Clearly, all Michael Irvin did was engage in conversation with a woman. The only thing Michael Irvin did wrong was even look at that woman's direction. But other than that, Michael Irvin should be absolutely clear. They try to claim that Michael Irvin sexually harassed and sexually assaulted her. I mean, that's a bunch of bullcrap, man. Michael Irvin needs to be cleared of his charges. The fact that ESPN and NFL Network have not let him return back to work, it's absolutely ridiculous. We need to get rid of this cancel culture that is going on in society right now. And with that being said, if you're Fox Sports, you might want to think, let's throw the bag at Michael Irvin and tell Michael Irvin you get to host the show with Skip Bayless. And I actually think Michael Irvin is willing to fit into that role, because he's a man in his 50s, he's black, he's a loudmouth, and he loves talking about the Cowboys. Skip Bayless, he needs a loudmouth guy partner next to him, preferably African American, where he can fit into that audience. He needs to be a man in his 50s where he knows his stuff, but he can also be very funny as well. And Michael Irvin checks all of those boxes. And you don't think that would be the ultimate power play on Stephen A. Smith if Skip Bayless is able to take away Michael Irvin from Stephen A. Smith? Because Michael Irvin used to be a co-host on First Take with Stephen A. Smith on Mondays. So if you could get Michael Irvin to come on Undisputed every single day during the weekday to partner up with Skip Bayless, that would be the ultimate power play. And if you put Michael Irvin on Undisputed, that would be must-watch TV with Skip Bayless. Could you imagine him and Skip screaming about the Cowboys all day long? Could you imagine them getting into passionate arguments? passionate debates as well. So I'm just thinking about that combination. I think Michael Irvin is the best fit next to Skip Bayless if they want to go the external option route. Now, if they only want to do in-house candidates, then I think it's got to be LeSean McCoy. But when you compare Michael Irvin to LeSean McCoy in terms of interest, it does not even hold a candle. Michael Irvin clearly brings in more interest than LeSean McCoy. If they bring in Michael Irvin to Undisputed, that would be a big market draw for that show, and it might give them some much-needed boosted ratings that the show has been missing for years. So I'm just thinking about how Michael Irvin is going to be the best fit next to Skip Bayless, because not everyone is for Skip Bayless, and Skip Bayless is not for everyone, but for Michael Irvin, he definitely fits into it. And Michael Irvin's been a guest on Undisputed before, so he's a little familiar with how the show already works as well. Michael Irvin is a great debate partner to have. I would watch Michael Irvin and Skip Bayless argue with each other each and every day. I'm really excited to see that. I think Undisputed has to go in that route. If you're Fox Sports, you got to go ahead and hire Michael Irvin. You pay him whatever it takes. Yeah, he might have some controversy, but if you're Fox Sports, I think you're willing to go ahead and take in that controversy as well. Remember, when Shannon Sharpe first joined Undisputed, he was a controversial figure as well. A lot of people were wondering, why did Fox Sports hire Shannon Sharpe? He can barely speak 3 real words per sentence, and he was out of a media job for 2 years, and it seemed like no one was going to hire him. And now look at Shannon Sharpe. Now Skip Bayless has rebuilt his image entirely. So if they get Michael Irvin on Undisputed, that could certainly clean up his image as well, because Michael Irvin currently has a bad image, even though it's wrong for him to have a bad image right now. But if they get him on Undisputed, and if they can wait for those allegations to go away, the outlook of Michael Irvin could look completely different in a couple of years. So that is why Michael Irvin will end up replacing Shannon Sharpe on Undisputed. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @Dustin Tran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @Dustin Tran and @Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @Dustin Tran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel Sports Guy Talking.